Okay, so Shovel Knight. I just finished the main story of the game not too long ago, and I've never played that game before. Man, I just started playing it about a week and a half ago, and I finished the main story. I still have to do Plague Knight story and Spectre Knight story, and I'm going through New Game Plus at the moment from the gameplay that you're seeing right now. But I just really want to get some gameplay out, just just to show off the game a little bit. I was kind of like rushing through the levels and being really reckless, so it's whatever. I just need some gameplay footage to cover my topic for the video. But I absolutely love this game. I love these. I love the retro style games, retro platformer style games. I felt right at home when I was playing it. It's definitely one of my favorite types of games to play. I don't know. There's just so many things that I like about the game. There's only like a few disappointments, but I mean, and by the way, no, this isn't a review. I'm not reviewing the game or anything like that. I just want to talk about my first time experience with the game because I think there needs to be more videos. I need to make more videos on the channel. I want to have some content for people to watch, but they would enjoy, but I would enjoy. Anyways, let's get on with the show here. Okay, first off, I want to say that what I've heard the first uh when I heard the song for the planes, the first level song, I got immediately hyped for this game. I thought that was an amazing way to start off the game with that song. The song was sick. Oh my god. I don't know. There's something about it. I love this game. Has this whole like with the music and like the gameplay and how the bosses work and everything. I had this whole Mega Man slash Castlevania slash Mario Bros feel, and it feels not so much Mario Bros. The only reason I have a Mario Bros feel for it is because of how the world map looks and how the level selecting is, and just for the sheer fact that it's a platform. But it feels a lot like Mega Man to me. I don't know what that's what we're trying to go for, but to me it feels like classic Mega Man. Well, yeah, I guess for the most part classic Mega Man, huh? And Castlevania, the only reason I say it feels like Castlevania because in Castlevania, you can hit certain parts of the wall and you can discover new things like the wall chicken, or I think you can get points by hitting the wall and stuff and things like that. And just somehow a little bit of level design from Castlevania, but the level design reminds me a lot. Reminds me of Mega Man a whole bunch. That's what stuck out to me the most. And also like the way you use your sub weapons, you hold up and the attack button in Castlevania, at least from Castlevania 1, the one that I'm the most familiar with. That's how you use, and I think Castlevania 3 as well. I'm not sure. I don't remember if 2 is the same way, but in Castlevania 1 and 3, the way you activate your sub weapons and or items or whatever, you hold up and you press the attack button to use it. There's something else I wanted to talk about. The story, it's pretty simple for just like any other classic game. I have a simple story. It wasn't about the story, just about the sheer gameplay challenge and just the fun aspect, just like in Mega Man. Well, Mega Man had more of a broader story compared to the classic games. It kind of like extended over the the 6 classic games, and then Mega Man 7, 8, and then you had X and everything. It had a very extended story for a retro game. But all it really is just that Shovel Knight and Shield Knight, they were partners and or I guess speculated lovers or whatever. Shield Knight got captured by the Enchantress and was taken to the Tower of Fate, and now Shovel Knight has to go and rescue her from the Enchantress and the Order of No Quarter. That's pretty much it. Nothing too big on the story. What I do want to say though is that I'm fine with the story. It's not really too much to talk about. The gameplay is great. In terms of how the game feels, I have no problem with really like how the game feels, or how it controls, or anything like that. I don't want to say it's perfect, but it's something that I'm very used to, and something that I was able to pick up and just understand, like on the spot. The music, not only is not only does it have like nice upbeat songs and everything like that, but just like the music for that type of game, that just for the the kind of game it is, it's a retro kind of like it's a retro platforming game with and it kind of has like that medieval theme to it. It makes so much sense for the music, and every what I love, what I absolutely love, every boss has a theme. It's not just the same. It's not just one general boss theme. Every boss has their own theme. I love that. It adds variety. It really does. And it makes every boss add, it adds to the personality of the boss, because the bosses in the game aren't just, oh, a boss, you beat it and then you move on, you don't really think about it. Every boss kind of has their own character and personality. Not just Shovel Knight, not just Shield Knight, not just Black Knight and the Enchantress. The whole Order of No Quarter has their own personality, and I think it's sick. Like Mole Knight, he loves to dig and do digging excavations and everything like that. King Knight, he's all about dandyism and just ruling and conquering over people. Polar Knight, he loves to create giant snow structures. Who else? Treasure Knight, he loves treasure. He loves treasure and riches. And Spectre Knight. And Plague Knight and Spectre Knight have more of a character, have more character development than the other knights, excluding like Shovel Knight and like the very like core roster, but of characters, because they have their own game now. They have their own game mode in Shovel Knight. You can play I'm sorry, Spectre Knight has his own story, and Plague Knight has his own story. But it's just a lot of stuff to do in the game. Not only do you have the main game, but you also have challenges. You have achievements that you can unlock. There's a new game plus mode. There's a whole bunch of different ways you can play the game. You can play the game casually. You can try to play through the game without taking a single hit. Play through the game without dying. Play through the game without using any items. Play through the game without purchasing anything. It's a lot of different ways you can complete this game, and that's what I love, the replay value. Going into the game, I was expecting because of the fact that it was a retro game, I thought it was gonna be pretty challenging, because those NES and like Super Nintendo games are like pretty challenging. For the fact that they're so simple, yet they're challenging. But it's almost amazing how it works, really. But even though the game was like it had that retro style of play, the game, once you figured out how the game works, it's not that hard at all. It's not too hard. It's challenging, but it's not like stupid difficult like some NES and Super Nintendo games, or like Ninja Gaiden, or Mega Man isn't as bad as what I think people make it out to be. Maybe just because I played the game enough to figure out how it works. But saying that now, but once I play the game, I'm probably gonna get destroyed, because I haven't played Mega Man in such a long time. But when I was playing it, it wasn't too bad, especially for the fact that every boss had a weakness too. But anyways, and the game wasn't like Shovel Knight itself. The difficulty wasn't that high, and there wasn't any like huge difficulty spikes either. There was like one level was moderately easy, and then the next level that you go to is just stupid hard for no reason. It wasn't like that. So you're not gonna see any difficulty spikes. Even like in New Game Plus, I haven't finished New Game Plus yet. I played through the first 3 levels. I played through the plains. I went to Pridemore Keep, and then I went to the Lich Yard. The only thing I've noticed in New Game Plus so far, in terms of difficulty, is the fact that enemies and bosses do more damage. That's it. And I honestly don't like that. I feel like, I don't want to say it's fake difficulty, but I feel like that's a lazy way to create a harder difficulty in the game, like a harder game, like a harder mode. I wish I wish there was smarter AI. That way, I had to think more and actually try to like build a strategy to figure out how to beat a boss. Oh, to beat this boss, you have to, I don't know, you have to dodge him 4 times, and then he's gonna, he's gonna start climbing on the ceiling, and then you get to dodge his shockwave drops or something like that. I don't know. I'm not a fan of just making enemies and bosses do more damage for a harder difficulty. Kingdom Hearts does it. I believe Skyward Sword did it. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. And also, I feel like the final boss, the Enchantress herself, was probably one of the easier bosses in this game. I'm not gonna say she's the easiest, because we all know Black Knight is the easiest boss. The first fight with Black Knight is the absolute easiest. At least I believe so. I honestly feel like the boss I struggled with the most my first time playing was Plague Knight, Treasure Knight, or the final fight with Black Knight. No overbosses were harder. Those are top 3 hardest bosses in my opinion. And I almost want to take off Treasure Knight just for the fact that the only reason I had such a hard time facing Treasure Knight my very first time is the fact that I didn't understand how Treasure Knight moved around the boss room, and I didn't understand his positioning. So that's why I had such a hard time, but now I understand it, and it's almost free. Like, beating him is almost free. But Plague Knight I still have some trouble with, and Black Knight, the final fight with Black Knight, I just don't understand when he wants to go into his winged mode and when he wants to start flying around and stuff like that. I don't understand the pattern for when he actually wants to activate his winged mode yet. But Enchantress is pretty easy. Like, the first phase is more difficult than the second phase. Second phase is like borderline free. Because all you really have to do, like in the first phase, you have to dodge her fireballs, right? And you can reflect them, because you can reflect any projectiles in the game, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But first she starts throwing out her fireballs, right? And then as she starts throwing out her fireballs, she'll give you some chances to hit her. You can reflect her projectiles, and then I believe sometime in the middle of the fight, okay, so let me explain it this way. You're literally fighting on rocks, I guess you could say. You're fighting on rocks. The Enchantress is floating up in the air, and Shovel Knight is standing on top of 4 layers of rocks, and the Enchantress first starts chucking some fireballs at you. You reflect them, whatever. She dashes from one side of the screen, she flies from one side of the screen to the other, and then after that, sometime later on, once you damage her enough, she'll fly under the rocks, and now she's at the bottom of the screen, right? And then she'll start shooting fireballs upwards from beneath you, from all those layers of rocks, and you have to dodge them. That's probably the hardest part of the fight, just for the fact that she can literally shoot fireballs directly under you, and you can fall right through if you're not paying attention. So that's really it. I'm not sure if you can reflect those fireballs. I haven't really tried it yet. Like I said, I've only played through the game once, and that's probably like the hardest part of the entire fight. And I believe after that, after some time, the rocks start to rebuild them. So there's like a wave of fire that shoots up from the bottom of the screen, and it recreates the layers of rocks, and then it kind of rinses and repeats. And then after that, phase 2, you have Shield Knight with you, which is actually pretty sick. It's kind of a 2v1 kind of. Shield Knight doesn't really damage her. She just assists you. She just supports you to attack. If she assists you, she kind of what she does, she blocks the Enchantress fireball shots, and then she'll jump up and hover. Shield Knight will jump up and kind of hover in the air for a short amount of time, so that way you can bounce on her shield and strike the Enchantress in the head. And that's literally one of the easiest bosses in the game, because you can just continuously bounce on her head about 3 or 4 times. I think it's 3 times, and then every time that happens, the fight changes a little bit. I did it without taking a hit first time playing. That's really it. The story, you know, pretty simple. Gameplay is great. I love the gameplay. I love the music. The music fits right in with the game. The level design feels so much like Mega Man. Gameplay kind of feels like Mega Man and Castlevania and a little bit of Mario Bros. And like I said, every boss is awesome. I love. Who's my favorite member in the Order No Quarter right now? That's a good question. Maybe Spectre Knight because he has a scythe and that's super sick. I don't know. Something about Spectre Knight. Black Knight's cool too. I like Black Knight. And also the dialogue between all the knights. It's so cool. They had that Maybe We'll Talk. Favorite track in the game? Hold on. What's my favorite track in the game? I don't know. The plane. I mean, the planes is godlike though. The plane sound. The song that plays for the planes. That's a godlike song. I like King Knight's theme. Man, I gotta go. I gotta go through the soundtrack again. Hold on. I actually downloaded the soundtrack. I'm about to do this. The Iron Whale. Oh, that's something else I wanted to mention, guys. Before I even get onto the song, there was only one water level in this entire game. One single water level. I hate water levels in retro games. This water level wasn't hard at all. It actually wasn't that bad. Especially when I was playing through the levels again on my first file. I was like, wow, this actually isn't that bad. This is crazy. I really thought this game was gonna be a lot more difficult. Like, it's challenging, but like I said, once you just figure out how it works, it's not that bad. Now, I'm not saying I can go through the game without dying like easy. That's gonna take a little bit of practice, but it's actually not that bad. It's not that challenging. You're not gonna rip your hair out, guys. Anyways, back to picking my favorite song. Alright, so let's see if I can come up with a top 5 real quick. I think number 5 is gonna be like so I'm just gonna give you 4 because I can't come up with one. So High Above the Land, that's Propeller Knight stage, that's the Flying Machine. The Lost City stage theme, The Rival, and Plains of Passage. There you go. I'm giving you 4. I can't think of a 5th one. God, that took long enough. But yeah, that's all I have to say. If this was a review and if I was gonna give it a rating, I guess I would give this game maybe like 8.5, maybe 8.5, 8.5 around there. But there you go. Not a review, by the way. Not a review. Anyways, I hope you guys like this kind of like this style of video. If you guys want to see more content like this, where I talk about my first time experience with the game, maybe, you know, show some clips of me freaking out when I'm playing through the game for the first time or something like that. Feel free to tell me in the comments below, give me a like, or good stuff, subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. I'm trying to get back in the swing of uploading things. The only reason I haven't been uploading is because I just want to find some good content. I'm not just trying to upload some random nonsense or whatever that no one's gonna watch. I'm trying to find some good content for people to watch, you know, something that I would enjoy watching, because if I'm not gonna enjoy it, then why would I upload it? But anyways, guys, stay tuned for more. Peace out. Take care.